Welcome to this follow-up lesson. Today's learning target is I can use the lowest common multiple method to add unlike fractions. This lesson is meant to be viewed after the lesson from Math Antics on this same topic. So if you haven't been part of that lesson yet, go back and do that and then come back here. Let's get started. We're going to tackle one problem here today, okay? In our first step, we are going to find the lowest common multiple, or the least common multiple, as Rob likes to say. And then we're going to use that to add 3/4 plus 1/6. All right, so let's get started. We have here our first denominator, the 4. It's been written over here. And I'm going to rewrite it again next to our first row, just as we did yesterday. All right, now we have the other denominator, the 6. And it's been rewritten over here. And I'm going to rewrite it down here next to our second row, just like that. All right, it's time to find common multiples, the lowest common multiple for 4 and 6. So let's start with 4. Let's multiply 4 times 1 and get 4. Let's multiply 4 times 2. What do we get? You got it. Let's multiply 4 times 3. And that is, yes. All right, let's stop there. Let's shift gears now and find some multiples of 6. Let's multiply 6 times 1 and get 6. And let's multiply 6 times 2 and get, you got it. And do you see what I see? Yes, we have found the lowest or least common multiple for 4 and 6. It is 12. It appears on both lists. Now, it's tempting at this point, especially when you're first learning this method, to just go ahead and plug those denominators in. And if you do that, you're going to kind of run into a little bit of a roadblock, a hurdle. And so I want to back you up a little bit. We're not going to just plug in 12 as our new denominator. The first thing we have to do is pay attention to what it is we multiplied each of these two numbers by, the 4 and the 6, in order to get to this number 12, this denominator. Okay, so let's start with the 4. We multiplied 4 times 3 in order to get 12, right? And so we got to bring that 3 all the way over here and write it on both parts of this whole fraction, right? So take a look. We did the 3 times 4. That gets us the 12. We've done that. That's over here, right? So we'll write the 12 down here as the new denominator for this equivalent fraction. But if we didn't pay attention to what we multiplied the 4 by to get 12, we might forget to do this part here. And that's to multiply the numerator times the same number. So we're going to do that. 3 times 3 is 9. And our new equivalent fraction for 3/4 is 9/12. All right, now we got to do the same thing for the other denominator, the 6 and 1/6. All right, we have to ask ourselves, what do we multiply 6 by to get to 12? And of course, that was 2. 6 times 2 is 12. And so we have to take this times 2. We're going to use it to build our whole fraction over here. Right? We did 6 times 2, and that was 12. But we also have to do multiply the numerator by the same number in order to create that equivalent fraction. And so 1 times 2, of course, we know what that is. All right. So now we have our two new equivalent fractions. They share the same denominator, a common denominator, and they're equivalent to the fractions we began with. So our final step is add 9/12 plus 2/12. And that gets us 11/12. And 11/12 is already in simplest form. The only factors of 11 are 1 and 11. And you can't times 11 by something to get 12. And if we divide by 1, we stay the same. So we're done. Today's learning target. I can use the lowest common multiple method to add unlike fractions. Today's practice is going to look very much like the work we just did together. Let me know if you need help. Let's get to it.